Are they keeping a secret? Is it deliberate? Is it accidental? There's something going on at the Nike Dunk line that is huge. I think it's huge. It gave me goosebumps earlier today. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. Why don't more people know about this? Is it deliberate on Nike's, well, at least the Nike Dunk department, to play this one low? To play it sort of close to the chest and let it naturally get big on its own? Or have they just like messed up their branding and messed up their, like the stuff that they put out there for sales? Have they got the wrong kind of people talking about the wrong kind of things? Because there's a specific thing on this Nike Dunk, not this shoe, but Dunks in general, that I can't believe more people don't know about yet. And there must be a reason for that. And whether it's a mess up at Nike or whether it's a deliberate ploy, it's definitely something to talk about, and I'll do that first, and then we'll get into the shoe that's the story of today's video that I'm bringing you guys today, which is the Nike Dunk Low Ceramic. This is the Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker Channel des.毎日アップするので毎日見てください. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And this shoe is the third in the ugly duckling pack, which isn't really a pack. And it's they're echoes from back in 2001 when these shoes were dropping here in Tokyo, Japan, well, Japan in general, and they were not getting a broader release, but here they are getting a broader release 19 years later. And I hadn't planned to do all three. I really hadn't. I did the first ones and I was like, I usually when a pack comes along, I'll do all three in a oneer, if there's 3 shoes in a pack, or 4, however many shoes are in a pack. For example, the recycled canvas pack, which was 6 shoes. I talked about all 6 shoes. I didn't just choose one of them. Or if I want to do one shoe, I'll do one shoe from the pack, like the Adidas NMDR1 Mandalorians. There were something like 8 or 10 shoes that came out from that Mandalorian pack, and I just focused in on one of them. So usually I'll do the whole pack in one video, or if I want to go deep, I'll take one shoe only. But here I am contradicting myself because I'm doing the third shoe from the pack, which wasn't what I'd planned at all. I did the first shoe and I thought, right, that's enough. Don't really need to talk about that anymore. There are 3 great shoes in here, but I just focus on one of them because people will, they'll get bored of me doing 3 separate videos about basically the same shoe in 3 different colorways. But then having done that first video, I was like, wow, I didn't realize there was such a tie up to Japan. So I really want to do the second video, which is the veneers. They haven't dropped yet. They're on sneakers right now. I'm shooting this video on Saturday and it'll probably go up on around about Wednesday. And FYI, the presidential election hasn't been called yet on Saturday. I don't know if it will have been called by Wednesday yet either. But anyway, the veneers are due to drop on sneakers in a couple of days' time, and then these guys are dropping on November the 19th to ceramics. And so because I found out in the first video a lot about the tie-up to Japan, I thought, okay, I'll make that second video about the veneers, even though I don't usually do that. And then I found out about the secret from Nike and the secret from the Dunk line. Now, I've actually got goosebumps again thinking about it. It's just, why don't people know about this? And what I'm talking about now, if you're a full-on Dunk head and you already know this, you're top of the class, 1% of Dunk people out there maybe know this at the moment. By the time this video drops, or by the time you're watching this video, maybe the secret's been exploded. But there's a series that Nike are doing right now called, what's it called now? The Story of Dunk. And they're on to episode 3, which dropped just today, which is the 7th of November, like I say, the Saturday. And episode 1, episode 2, and now episode 3 have dropped. I think I'm right in saying episode 1, it dropped in October. So we're talking like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And the video on YouTube has about 40,000 views. That's wrong. That's just plain wrong. That should have 40 million views. You know what I mean? There's no way a video from Nike about the history of the Dunk only has 60,000 views unless they've either ballsed up the sort of promotion for that and they haven't got the video set up correctly on YouTube for people to be able to find it, or, and this is what I hope, they're going it low. They're playing it low because that's what Dunks are. Dunks are authentic and they're low, and they come in and they actually do what they say on the tin, if you know what I mean. They're not hyped They're not like, it's not the machine that churns out dunks. It's not the industry, it's the community. That's the word I'm looking for. It's the community that churns out dunks. So maybe they're doing that deliberately. Now, I've watched all 3 episodes, and the reason it became important to me was because when I was researching these 3 shoes in this Ugly Duckling pack, I was confused about their sort of timeline, because they seemed to come between Dunk Lows and Dunk Low Pros and SB Dunk Low Pros. There was a weird kind of, it didn't make sense. It didn't fit into any of those 3 camps. And then it turned out that there were these special Japanese shoes, and they kind of played a big part in inspiring kind of dunks to go hot and hard in the early 2000s. And that's a big part of episode 2. So you definitely want to get out there and find these videos called the story of Dunk. Like I say, at the point of shooting this video, we're on to episode 3, and episode 3 was all about how when we're talking now. Dunks started in 1985, and they didn't get hot until the early 2000s. So you've got 16 or 17 years where they've been low and sort of under the radar. But they tied it up with the skateboard industry in a very authentic way. They didn't try and come in as this big business to take over the skateboard industry. They came in low and really talked to the skateboarders and the people on the street, not corporate people, not big stores. And they say in this episode 3 that when they were bringing Dunks back out again in the early 2000s, there was only like 12 skate shops that stocked them, which created like this interest and hype around the shoe, and then it created an authentic kind of skateboard vibe to the shoe, instead of it just being this mega machine from Nike. And I wonder if that's what they're doing with these videos. If they're playing it low, they're deliberately not putting promotional materials or sharing them with influencers and stuff like that, that they want the videos to actually go to people who are interested in them, who find them for a reason. I found them because of the sneakers app in Japan actually had one of the videos on it, and then because of that I was like, wow, that's interesting. I've always wanted to know the history of Dunks as detailed as possible. So right now it's up to episode 3, which I think is round about 2002, 2003. So you've got like the origins back in the 80s, and then where things were going in the 90s until the start of the 2000s, and then that sort of jump to hype in the early 2000s. So it's a really interesting series. Definitely check it out, and I'd love to know in the comments down below if you know why it's so low right now and why they've got so few views, if that's deliberate or if people just don't know. Either way, tell people they're awesome videos. They're really worth watching. They're only 5 or 6 minutes long each. They're not 30-minute videos that take a while to check out. And they're just great videos to look at. Great people telling you the real story of the dunk, which I think is fascinating. So that's why I ended up bringing you this shoe for the 3rd shoe in the series, was because of those videos. And it's not because of the shoe, and that's why this video is kind of more about those videos, about the story of Dunk, rather than these ceramics that are dropping on November the 19th. But I do have to talk about the ceramics. I mean, I'm not just here to talk about that video and promote that video. I do want people to just share it, because I think it's super good information. Great stuff to learn in those videos, the story of Dunk. So anyway, yes, into this shoe today. I've only got a couple more minutes to quickly go through a few things on them. It is the 3rd shoe in that Ugly Duckling pack, which is basically very authentic to what was going on in 2001. They've reproduced the shoes, but on a much larger scale, available to many more people. And this one is the 3rd of the 3. Apparently it's burnt orange black and nori. Now, if you don't know what nori means, that's not a surprise, because it's a very specific Japanese word, N-O-R-I, nori. And what it means in Japanese is seaweed. And so that green feel on the side of these guys and that swoosh wrapping around to the heel branding on the back is supposed to represent seaweed, apparently. So nori, your Japanese word for today, is nori, meaning seaweed. And that's great that because it goes back to the story of the shoe back to 2001, when these were Japan only drops. And it's great how it wraps around to the back, and you see that green continuing on the branding panel on the back, and they've full on got the stoopy E that I always talk about on these guys. Sometimes it's not quite so pronounced, but today the E is very stooped over and very hunched down in that branding panel on the back. They will never change that, no matter how many people get bugged by it. I think it's cool. It's that authenticity of the Dunk line that we all love. So it's a very cool shoe. The orange, the blacks and the greens really work well. The beautiful suedes, which are best seen on the toe. So here's a shot of the toe to give you an idea of the suedes that are used and the quality of the materials on the shoe, and especially as well at the heel you can kind of see again those suedes, and hopefully they're showing up really nice on the green screen. You get an idea of the high quality of this shoe. So it's a very cool shoe. It's a very cool pack. I kind of looked at this shoe and wondered if they maybe should have brought it out a little bit earlier because it would have fit the Halloween vibe, but maybe they wanted to avoid that. Maybe they didn't want to go commercial on it, you know. Usually Dunks do bring out a Halloween themed shoe every year, and last year, was it the Night of Fright or the Night of Terror? I think it was Fright, the Night of Fright or something like that was last year's shoe, and I think there was a Dunk for this year as well. I can't remember what it was. I might have done a video for it, but yeah, these guys kind of look pumpkin-y, but they maybe deliberately stayed away from tying it up with the Halloween kind of season and festival because it isn't a Halloween shoe. It's an authentic shoe from 2001, and maybe they want to get away from that pumpkin kind of vibe, or not. I don't know. Maybe you do know in the comments down below. You can let us know why an orange and green shoe didn't drop on October the 31st. But that's enough from me for today. Like I said, I mean, I did want to get into the shoe and just give you that final of the 3 Dunks, but really it's all about the story of Dunk. You definitely have to check out those videos. They are awesome videos, and take the time to let me know in the comments down below if you did check them out, because it's great to learn. I love to learn stuff, and those videos are amazingly packed. 5-6 minute videos packed full of great information about where Dunks came from and the different stages that they went through to get to where they are now. The last thing in the episode 3 that I saw, they were talking about how kids were lining up outside these skateboard shops for 6 days to try and get their hands on these Dunks. Unbelievable, back in the early 2000s. Okay, time to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. Hopefully you're all doing well out there. Hopefully, you know, the divisions of the last couple of months in the world that have been caused by the American presidential election are starting to fade away into a much more, you know, collaborative and cooperative and friendly and brotherly kind of attitude as we move forward. Fingers crossed, like I say at the channel all the time, you can have a difference of opinion and still be friends. Fingers crossed that feel is what's coming out in the world right now. Okay, time to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. Truly appreciate it. And all I have to do is to tell you the thing I do at the end of every single video, which is remind you that I do this every single day. And that means you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.